What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, I will be discussing Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to Bitcoin. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're doing a giveaway at 5K. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So we're honestly just going to be looking at Litecoin and pretty much the market as a whole in a very non-biased, non-opinionated factor. I know it's very hard to do so, but we're really going to try to look at things from a technical analysis standpoint and not really put hope and all those other things into the market and really adjust where the price could potentially fall down to. Is it a $30 Litecoin? Is it a $4,000 Bitcoin? Or we look at the upside, is it a $70 Litecoin? Is it a $10,000 Bitcoin? We're really going to look at things from a non-biased, opinionated sense. But to start that off, we're obviously going to have to look at the coin market cap first. And I did refresh this, and interesting enough, things truly haven't really changed much from yesterday. There are a few small things that I want to mention, but then we'll look at the top 10 coins and then do some technical analysis. So the market cap is 196 billion, which I believe is the same as yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. 24-hour volume is slightly lower than yesterday at 11 billion, and then a Bitcoin dominance at 55.8%, which is definitely higher, if I do recall, from yesterday. So it does seem like the rest of the alts are getting hit and more affected than the almighty Bitcoin as of right now. And I'm looking at the top 10 coins, and everything does seem to be up very, very, very slightly. I do think it's another day of consolidation or correction. So looking at these top 10, we see Bitcoin at 6,300, up around 2%. Ethereum at 196, trying to break above 200 again. XRP at 27 cents. Bitcoin Cash at 480, up 1.5%. EOS taking a really big jump at 6.49% at $5. And then Litecoin at $55, up 4.38%. So pretty doing it's up there, probably like the third highest out of the top 10 cryptos, but otherwise things do seem to be looking quite nice. Interesting to note is on the price graph, you guys can see we did have the big dip followed by the retracement upwards. All of them did that, but you can see how things are starting to go back down to that area. They're starting to downtrend right now, and we're going to look at that in a second because I do think it's quite important. So I'm on Litecoin right now, and I actually want to go somewhat in depth with this and look at the weekly as well. I think that's quite important. So looking at this from a very in-depth sense, we're on the 4-hour for Litecoin, and you can see the retracement up on the relative strength index back to 44, which is a good and a bad thing, and I want to explain why. It's bad in the sense that this now leads us more like potential to break lower. You know, if we were already oversold, there's a better indicator that we're not going to go much lower. But the fact that we're back up means we can enter an oversold market again. And if we do, I don't think the drop will be too traumatic. I do think we'll fall to 50 being our main support and then 70 being our main resistance. But you can see we're really not that far away from the 70. We're really not that far away from the 50. You can clearly see the price that we're using right now is 55, the purple line, as a pretty major support. I do want to make this 50 a little bit darker or more bold because that is a pretty strong support in the sense that we're kind of trapped in this channel here. The 55 does seem to be what we're hanging on to right now. You can see we're literally at 54.93 as I'm making this video, and we were up to like 56 earlier today, but the correction happened. We were at 52, we're back up to 55, so you can see the amount of consolidation that's taking place here. My issue is the fact that we're now below this high-low MMA gives me more of a sense that it may start to act against us and push us farther down to like the $50 line. It's definitely possible. But I just want to move things out now to a daily. Then we'll check out the weekly. So it's very interesting. You can see here what I'm talking about, how this 55 is a pretty critical support. The 50 being the main support, and then 70 being its biggest. Ooh, that's not what I meant. This is the 7. No, the 70 right here is its biggest resistance at the current market price. You can see the high-low MMA is starting to come in, and things do seem to be quite normal on the RSI for the daily. But you can see where it's facing some sort of like resistance at the current price level. You can see right here how it's trying to break 55, or at least hang out above 55, but it's having a lot of trouble doing so. I do truly think we should get above that, but we'll see. If things tend to break negative, we should see a $50 Litecoin pretty quick. And it's going to be kind of difficult, in my opinion, to break below 50. That seems to be a very, very, very big buying market for a lot of people, or a lot of the big guys. But what I wanted to show you guys is this weekly Litecoin. So we're quite low on the weekly in terms of the relative strength index at 35 is pretty low in my opinion. But you can see what the issue was that we ran into. So I just kind of want to zoom out and show you guys that there is this big, you can call it a bull flag. It would theoretically be the biggest bull flag in history, or it is just a descending triangle, and we could break bullish from that. Now, I have seen multiple times where we bounce off the tip of the downtrend, like we break out, fall back down to the tip, and then use that as momentum to go higher. Now, that is definitely something in play, and it could potentially happen. And what I mean by that is if I just extend this line here, you guys can see as I zoom in more what I'm talking about. So right here, you can see the downtrend that we broke bullish from, which is why we saw that rise. You could see we then hit the high-low MMA on the weekly, which is very, very, very strong resistance right now. It could be support, but right now it's resistance, and that's truly why we just could not break this resistance right here, this massive resistance that falls at around 70. That's why we tumbled lower. You can see how we could be potentially bouncing not only off this 50, but also off the downtrend. So we're really going to have to see what happens. I'd be very shocked to see us break lower into the $40 level, which is where I drew another support, and then we have 45 and then 50, but we could bounce off 50 and retest that high-low MMA, but we're going to see how things hold out. It's really an interesting market. It's a really interesting time to be living in, watching this crypto trade like this. We're literally at a price level that's where we started from originally. You guys can see back here, this was literally the price level that we shot up off of. You know, this is where it all started from, and now we're back to that. So it's very interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting, and there's a lot at play right now. I don't personally think we'll see that $1,000 Litecoin. There's a lot of manipulation in the market, and I know that's a pretty big leap, but there's definitely potential there for a slight movement back upwards. You know, it's still at play. You know, a $100 Litecoin is really not that much of a stretch compared to what we've seen other altcoins do and what we've seen the market do as a whole. As for Bitcoin is literally teeter-tottering on being oversold again, literally right on the cusp. So I don't think it can go much lower. Now, there is a slight downtrend for whatever reason forming, just like that. So we're going to see how that affects the market. Hold on, let me get this back up. Hold on. Yeah, so as you can see, this slight downtrend right here in a descending triangle, it could break bullish from that and shoot back up. And I really do think we will retest its high-low MMA on the 4-hour because of how oversold we are, or about to be. But moving on to the daily, and then I'll speed things up for Ethereum and XRP because I drew those lines already. You can see it's just a lot of crazy lines. There's massive wicks on the market right now. Just massive, massive, massive wicks. You can see where we faced a lot of trouble. It wasn't random, you know. It was almost. It was definitely a possibility. It was definitely an option I didn't weigh out because, like I said, this is a very critical support and it's a very critical resistance. And the fact that we broke bearish from here wasn't that surprising at all. Yes, the pullback all the way down to here was, but it pretty much indicates that there wasn't much support up here. We're literally back down to shoulders. We have been lower in the past. I don't think we will get much lower. We're practically oversold on the daily as well. So I do think consolidation is needed for the next couple of days, and we should go back up and retest its high-low MMA back to 7,000. I really do think a $7,000 Bitcoin is still in play. Lastly, Ethereum, Another day of consolidation. Still bearish until it can break its downtrend right here. It's yellow downtrend. You can see the consolidation. You can see the resistance. The downwards pressure pushed us lower, now to a lower support at 190. I think the consolidation is going to happen again. And if it breaks bearish, it's going to fall all the way to 166 and then just continue on that pattern. But you can see how extremely oversold it is, which would be nice to see Litecoin and Bitcoin, because that would pretty much be an indicator that it's due to pull up. But we should see Ethereum pull back up and retest that downtrend very, very, very soon. So honestly, for Ethereum, if you wanted to try it out, in my opinion, I may just put some money in Ethereum because of how oversold it is, and we may see it move up ever so slightly higher, but that's some slight profit to be made there. I know Dave C likes his XRP, so obviously I'm going to have to review XRP. Now, I don't want you guys getting mad at me. I don't need Dave C getting mad at me in regards to the current TA I'm about to give, but things don't seem very optimistic for XRP. Not Ripple, guys. That's different. I've been told so many times in the past, but it doesn't look too good. You can see I drew 2 yellow lines. You can see this pattern that it has. This was the first downtrend descending triangle. It actually broke above that and then started trading on it. Then you can see the above resistance right here that it's been literally attacking for so long and not being able to break through. And I think if this pressure keeps up of trading on this top line, if at any point it reaches a very, very, very strong resistance, it may break extremely bullish and shoot up very, very, very high, like Doge did, and like Bitcoin Dark did. So we could see that. But in the meantime, we're just going to be trading in between these lines until we can find a very strong support. That support could literally be all the way down here, unfortunately, because you can see that's the bottom right there. But it could also be right here or right here. So I drew these 3 lines of potential breakout points. But for the most part, I do think we're going to be consolidating. And for the short term, I do think we're going to be trading downwards. You can see we're not even close to this support level yet. So I do think consolidation and downtrend is necessary at the current moment, and I do think that's where we're heading. But otherwise, that's going to sum up the video for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, you're doing the right thing. Giveaway at 5K. And I'll see you guys in another live stream. Peace.